The Talk Shows family is Snumsa here at Ngozi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. With me today, we have Angie Simmons and Nadia Debiel. How are you, ladies?
Fabulous, thank you.
Good to have you, Nadia, back.
Thank you for having me back.
Awesome, awesome. So our topic today is powerful impact of inner cycle of your well-being. Angie, you chose this topic. Would you like to explain the topic to our audience, please? And the motivation behind it, please.
No problem. So the reason why I picked this topic is because I don't think people realise how much their inner circle of acquaintances, family, friends actually affect our own well-being. And it comes from a place of, being there myself. Quite a few years ago, when I was struggling with my mental and emotional well-being, the people that I was surrounding myself with were quite negative people, a glass half full type of people. And, oh, are you sure about doing that? The lovely people that are around you that give you the advice that is designed to keep you safe. And it does come from a place of love, but sometimes that stops you from doing other things. Like, for instance, myself, when I first mentioned that I was, going to start the dog grooming all those years ago, everything was okay until I then made the decision that I was going to sack the boss and become self-employed. And then everybody and their aunt came out of the woodwork to give me advice not to do that, because, oh no, you need a safe job, you need safe, you need to be safe, you need to be able to pay your bills and all that sort of stuff. But what that was doing, that sort of advice was keeping me in a place where I was stuck, not seeing my daughter, and just feeling that life was absolute, I wasn't living my best self, should I say. And it's quite interesting that the people that you surround yourself with, especially when they're really negative, pull you down, pull your emotions back down and affect your energies, really. So I hope that makes sense. So what do you think, Nadia?
Well, yeah, of course, I agree that, we are influenced by our people that we surround ourselves with. But I think Jim Brown first said that we are average of 5 people that we spend the most time with. So, there are some philosophies that go against it. Like, for example, I'm part of a school called Natural Success. And the creator of that school, he doesn't like that saying, because he always believes that we are powerful creators, individual beings, and we are responsible, of course, for our decisions, our decision making, what happens to us, and so on. So I like to look at our environment and people that we hang out with as a reflection of ourselves, really. So the people that we hang out with reflect us, basically, and who we are. And it's, the story that you just shared, I 100% resonate with, because, through life we change, we grow, hopefully, like most of us, and it's normal for us to change our inner circle, to change our friends, to move on, and it's okay, it's normal. It's just the cycle of change, cycle of life. And so, yeah, I think every single of us should really pay attention to what's happening. Who are our friends? Who are we hanging out with? Where are these people? What do they say to us? Yeah. How are they influence our well-being? Are they motivating us, to grow, to develop ourselves, to be happy? Do they bring us joy, put a smile on our face, or they just keep us down and miserable? 100%. And I recommend anyone to look around and see basically where you are in your life, and what does it tell about you, people that you around with, even friends and family as well. It's important. So yeah, 100% important, and 100% agree, definitely. So yeah, Nomza, what are you?
I love that what you ladies have said. Angie, you said people around us, they basically, they keep us safe. They're designed to keep us safe. I think that is so true, because these people, they love us. and they've known us for a very long time. So can you imagine going to tell them about your dreams? You can tell somebody your dreams is somebody who has gone through life and who knows what it means to dream and to be able to come out on the other end successful. They'll understand because you speak the same language. But if you speak to your family members and friends, we have never started a business before, and they will not understand. They will just say negative things. And once they say negative things, it will then up to you how you respond at that moment. You are able to move forward. Some people, they listen. They're like, if somebody says negative things, they listen and they don't go forward with their planning, they get scared. Or some people, they're like, you can't do this, you can't do that. But the truth is, if you really, really want to, or sometimes we end up arguing, some people end up arguing, we end up arguing with our family members and our loved ones because we believe that they don't get me. These people don't get me. So they are not supposed to get your dream. So the truth is you are the only person that get what you want. So you might as well get the professional to walk with you or walk on your own, walk alone, and surround yourself with people that speaks your language. And then the positivity, the environment, then you'll be able to live a fulfilling life. That's my beliefs. I've experienced it myself, where I will open my mouth and say something, and then I'll get discouraged. And once I get discouraged, but now I say it anyway. When I say something, if I go to my family and say something, it means it's done. By the time they start giving me lecture, I'm like, I've done it. I've already done it. And they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I'm just letting you know that this is what I'm doing. So they come into a maybe positive attitude or negative, trying to talk me out and letting me know how disadvantages and things like that. I'm like, I've already done it. So those are the things that we need to be aware that if we want to, our inner circle has to be positive. Family members, some things you can tell family members, some things you keep them to yourself. Can you imagine, Angie, you were going with your daughter and she's doing all these auditions, and imagine you're telling your family members that this is what is happening. They will just tell you the 27 reasons why it cannot happen.
And like you, I didn't bother telling them. It was happening already. And then all of a sudden they're like, wow. Yeah, I totally agree with that nonsense. You know what? I did love what you said about your peers, your family are not supposed to get your dreams.
No.
I love that. I heard a story not long ago, and it really made me go, oh, right, yes. So for the audience, so when you've got a dream and this is for you, it's given to you, nobody else. So for instance, these little glasses here, I put these on my eyes so I can see better. If I try and give them to somebody else, they probably won't be able to see. Or they'll be like, oh, that's a bit blurred. Oh, no, that's a bit, you know. And when I heard that story, I just thought, what a different way of putting things. People are not supposed to see your dreams. They're not got the same eyesight as you have. And so when you said that, I just thought that just reminded me of that little story, because it is so true. So true. And I love what you said, Nadia, with regards to you are responsible for your own choices. And the fact that when we're talking about our peers, the people that are surrounded around us is a reflection of you. Powerful stuff. I mean, when I think about when I was really struggling and I was, you know, I heard something you said earlier and I resonated that, you know, I was drinking like a fish, anything to shut this up, because I just couldn't get my head around my own internal chatter. Anything to shut it up. You know, people turn around and they get really negative about people, you know, especially the people that are homeless, that are taking drugs. Maybe those drugs are actually helping that person with their own internal chatter. We're not here to judge. We shouldn't be judging. But when I think about when I was drinking all the time, who was I surrounding myself with? People that was going out all the time. Because that's where I felt safe. That's what was helping, you know, and I'm not saying it's a good thing, because, you know, it did destroy a lot of my life at the time. But then I say, did it destroy it, or did it put me on a new path to where I am today? Looking back at everything, it's like, actually, that was meant to happen for me to be where I am. I wasn't meant to be in that relationship. Instead of me spending all those years going, oh, my days, how can I fix this? And I should, well, this is not meant to be. Let's get on a new path. So, yeah, I love what you ladies said then. And I really, you know, resonated. But, yeah, the glasses thing, when you said that nonsense, I just thought it's so true. People are not supposed to get the dreams. That dream was given to you. And I also love how you said, nonsense, you know what, don't bother telling your peers and your family, because they'll only talk you out of it. Just do it and tell them. Like my daughter, I shared, my daughter's teacher shared on Facebook her singing. Now I was there that day, but I wasn't allowed to record. I'm not allowed to share anything, because my daughter will just blow on, and it's easy. Because somebody said to me, why are you bothered? Just share it. And I'm like, look, I have to live with her. It's easier just to not share it right now. I'll wait until she's left, then I'll share it. You know, you've got to pick your battles. And yeah, when her tutor shared this, her singing, and the fact that she got into drama school, I shared it on my story, because that's safe, because my daughter won't see that. But other people that know me and my family know me could have gone on my story, found the link, and then saw it. And so many of my family were like, oh my God, oh my God. And one of my aunties turned around to me and she says, I remember when you told me that, you know, you'd sack the boss. And I said to you, what the hell are you going to do? You've got to keep a roof over your and your daughter's head, you know. And you turned around to me and said, I'll make it work. I've got to make it work. She says, and I thought, oof, you know, she says, now I understand why you did it. Seeing the difference in, you know, in my daughter, she was like, I was trying to talk you out of it, and I'm sorry about that. I says, no, you weren't. You were concerned, and I get it. You know, it is what it is. But I do now. I am very mindful, because I did used to be one of those half glass people, and always looking for the negative side of it. Oh, what if this happens? Oh, what if that happens? Now I always look of, it's meant to happen, and what can happen, and bring the positivity towards me, and look on the brighter side, and things have changed for me. So now when I'm with people that are not that type of person, I can feel it straight away. It's like a weight on my shoulders, and I think, oh, and I'm like, no, go away. No, and you know, it's not a case of go away, I don't ever speak to you, but I'll be very, very, very careful how much time I spend with those people. I don't know if you ladies have people like that in your life, because we've all got, well, as far as I'm concerned, I think we've all gotten them.
Yeah, amazing stuff out you sharing, and I do agree. Like my friend circle, even though I moved basically, so I kind of have to recreate everything from the scratch. You know, my friend circle, people that I hang out with, and so on. But through life experience and life journey, I am very conscious now who I spend my time with and who I exchange energy with it, because that's all it is. You know, that we spend time with, you know, different people in our life, and they will always influence us. They will either keep us down, hold us back, give us the wrong advice, basically, or you know, they can motivate us because, you know, they have some wisdom to share. They can just bring joy and happiness and fun time to our life. So today I am very cautious, and I observe people that I meet, and I make my judgment, because I think it's important. A lot of people have kind of this biased opinion, negative opinion about judgments, but I believe that we need to judge other people for our own safety, because there is a lot of people out there that, as we know from our life experiences, that have bad influence on us. So I observe people, I I watch what they say. I watch their actions, not only words. What are they into, their interests, and then I make a decision if I want to become friends with them or not. And at the moment, I have to be honest, I don't have many friends at all, because a lot of people don't resonate with me, and I prefer to be honest, I prefer to to wait and wait for this right person to appear to my life and be a little lonely sometimes and do something productive with my time than just spend time because I feel alone and it's not right, and with someone who is not right for me, and to be under pressure that I need to have friends because otherwise I will go mad, or it's not right, or it's something weird about it. I don't really care. I just really cautious who I spend my time with, really. So what are your thoughts about this, ladies? Nolza or Angie?
I love what you've just said, Nadia, that you actually, I don't have many friends either. Anyone that consider my friends, they're very, very lucky, because the friends that I have, I've had them for like 20 years, or some of them 30 years, or some of them like 10 years. The people that I don't just, I don't know. If I call somebody a friend, I have to qualify people. I don't go around judging people either. Any person that I'm able to feel comfortable and feel sharing my life with them, because some people you have to go with how they are feeling that day. If they are feeling good, you have to talk their language. So me, I'm a person, if I have friends, my friends speak her language, I speak my own language, which means we have different dreams, and we support each other. They're not afraid to tell me when they're not okay. They're not afraid to tell me because I'm going to be there and support them. But some people, you can't actually tell them about your problems, but people call them friends, or they're judging you, or you find yourself competing with people. So I don't do all those things where, friend, I have to feel that I'm competing with people. I don't do all those things. So I'm just like you, Nadia. I'm not like you, really cautious. I just pray and say, God, show me anyone that is in my life, not for my own benefits. And that way, when I say this prayer fast, things will get loose. If there is something that somebody they're saying they're not who they say they are, something will happen and then they'll just move away. But other than that, I think I agree with you. And also what you said, in our relationship, like what you're saying, Angie, that about your daughter, you gave up everything for your daughter. And sometimes people wouldn't understand why this woman is doing all this for their child. And now your child she's gone and she's being amazing. She doesn't like sharing things on social media about her. My daughter doesn't like it either if I share things, but she knows I share it anyway. So yeah, yesterday I saw the application form at her dance school, her dance and drama schools, and I just filled the application form and I said to her, are you interested in this? Hope to do this. And she goes, Mommy, sometimes you have to ask me before you fill these things. I'm like, yeah, I'm asking you now. I fill it in case this person goes. But if you say no, there's no harm done. So you've not said yes. I've not said yes. I've just filled an application form. So I was like, you just have to be out there. So I was like, hang out with people that speak your language. So they're doing drama workshop summertime. So I filled the form and I said to her, are you interested? And she was like, okay, so I'm just, Mommy, you should speak to me. I was like, yeah, you're right. You were at school. So those are the things that it's like when you hang out with somebody. I've got friends myself, they know the things that I like. If I'm not there, they'll be like, oh, Noms, I found this, or I found this. I'm able to talk to them. But some people, when you talk to them, it's like they want to talk you out of your dreams, and if there's any of our audience that are watching and they're not following their dreams because of family members, because of friends, the family members, they're always going to be your family. My family are always going to be my family. But I always tell people that we might be friends or we might be family members, we might be related, but our dreams are different. There is no way we can walk the same path together. We are walking different paths. And I remember I told one of my brother, because people have this best friend, and they end up doing the same thing. My sister has a best friend, and everybody has a best friend, and then you find they're doing the same thing and doing things together. I'm like, can't you just do separate things? The things that you love, sure, there must things that you separate love. The other one doesn't like to offend anybody. This one, it doesn't. I'm like, oh my God. It's not about, you can't let people affirm your destination, because if you let people affirm your destination, you will be waiting for a very long time. For me, I just do, I follow my dreams. Sometimes things don't work out how I expect, but I'm ready to face the consequences. So I don't know about you, Angie.
I love that.
Do you have any friends, Angie? Like to hear you. Nadia, she's very cautious about who enters her life. Me too.
I love what you just said, Nadia, and I'm just going to reframe it. Do you, because everybody else is taken. Instead of trying to fit in somebody else's dreams and somebody else's shoes, get your own shoes and get your own dream and follow that. Nobody's going to pay your bills. Nobody's going to succeed in life like you want to. So do you and let everybody else be them. And yes, I totally 110% agree. Nadia, high five. I remember 20 odd, 30 odd years, I had absolutely loads of friends. Check me out, Mrs. Sociable. Yeah, I'd got pennies then because I was using the credit card to go out all the time. Amazing how many people disappear when you haven't got the money and you're not paying for their beers and stuff. Not everybody, don't get me wrong, not everybody, but yeah, I felt like an absolute social buddy. Nobody could get in touch with me because I was always out. And then what I've realized through my own path of self-discovery, recovery, whichever way you want to call it. Yeah, I'm going to call it my self-discovery and recovery. I've got a handful of people that I know that I can call if I need them. I know they're not going to, you know, like we all have issues. We're feeling beings. We're not robots. It's okay not to be okay. But you've got to be careful who you speak to when you're feeling like that. Like you said, Nomsa, I can ring somebody up who I know I can trust, who is going to sit there and just listen and let me get that out of my head, get that feeling out of my space and know that I'm in a safe space. I'm sure the audience and you ladies have had these people in your life that you're struggling and you talk to them within 5 minutes, they turn it onto themselves. Oh, yes, I know all about that. Listen to me. Here's my stuff. And you're like, well, what's the point? What's the point in talking? So, yeah, I've got, you know, the amount of people I hear, the amount of people that talk to me right now, aren't you lonely? You know, my daughter's always out. She's 18. She's always out with a boyfriend, or she's sixth form, or she's doing dance and acting and singing and or her friends. And I'm like, and are you not lonely? Yeah, I get lonely sometimes, but I'd rather be lonely than in the wrong company. I can trust me. I can trust my own thoughts. I can trust my own dream. I can work towards my own dream. Can't expect anybody else to do it. So yeah, my daughter said, she's always saying it. And I was like, you know, as you get older, you start thinning out your circle and you get the people that elevate you and not deflate you. I call them the mood hoovers, you know, the ones that suck the life out of you. I'd rather have a handful of people that are going to be there to support me and be there, you know, to elevate me if I need that, than have 20 odd people sucking all the, you know, sucking all the energy out of me. I'd rather do that. And I think that comes from experience, I think. And as we get older, I think when we're kids, when we're younger, we feel that that's the norm. And I think society, some people in society, not everybody, because we can't put everybody in the same box. But yeah, some people think that when they're surrounded by lots of people that, you know, I think it's that love thing, isn't it? The more people we surround ourselves, the more love we've got. But then we don't realise that some of those people in that circle really need to be put in the outer circle, or do one, as I used to call it. Just do one. Get out my circle. That's enough. But I do love that, ladies, definitely. Who's talking next?
I can add a little bit, because you know it's important, you know, our life journey. When we are young, we make a lot of mistakes, and we learn through these mistakes, which is exactly what's supposed to happen. But I think that, you know, younger generations, like your children, they have much harder lives than we did when we were growing up, because life in today's world is just a bit more crazy. Definitely very different. They're under a lot of pressure because of social media. They grow up with their phones, and unfortunately, a younger generation, they look up to people on social media for advice, and they want to be like them. They want to copy them. They want to be like all these famous people, celebrities, influencers, and so on. And all these people, of course, they have a lot of friends, a lot of followers, and so on. It's a very different life, and I think our generation probably is like we are very lucky that we grew up without mobile phones, social media, and internet, and we could appreciate life very, very differently, and we have much stronger resilience, and I think we are more mentally strong to, you know, to get over things, because, you know, younger people get hurt very easily, and you know, it's, you know, I think they're going to have very different lives to us. So I don't even know what I could advise young people, because they have to go through their own experiences, through their own journey, and obviously make their own decision. And as parents, I believe, I'm not a parent, but I believe that as a parent, you should not tell your child what you should be doing, because I think we both shared that our family doesn't get our dreams, because our parents always want us to do things that they wanted, that they think are best for us, or they wanted to do, and they never understood what we wanted. Like, I can share from my experience that my mom had their own plans for me, and I wanted to do completely something else, which she didn't approve of. And you know, so it's parents as your inner circle. I wouldn't advise necessary to listening to your parents. Basically, is the best thing, obviously, when you grow up and when it comes to your career and profession. But being a guide and advising your kids, because you are a wise parent and you went through life experiences, you know better. But telling them what to do, it's never right. It's never the right thing to do. But overall, I just wanted to share that we all go, I think self-awareness is important, and we really should be looking around our life and take responsibility for our lives, and never blame anyone for what is happening to us, basically, but really look at it as a reflection of us, and see what we can do differently next time to repeat these mistakes. Or listen to the person, and never blame it on government or friends or whatever person told you, but really look at yourself, your decisions, and see what you can change to, you know, to improve your life. And the most powerful person always is you, and listening to your advice, because the truth is that we live in a world where we focus so much attention on the advice of other people, of our inner circle, or people on TV, whatever, social media, but we never learn to listen to ourselves. So I would say our inner circle should be very small, as we were kind of discussing, really reliable people that you can trust. But the most, you know, powerful person that, you know, you should rely on is always you, and knowing yourself, because we know majority of people know more about life of other people through gossiping and talking about others than actually talking about themselves. People don't know less about themselves than they know about others. So yeah, when you have your friends, just reflect. Are you discussing life of other people, or are you discussing?
You were frozen, Nadia.
Am I frozen?
No,
No.
you're not frozen anymore, but you were before.
She didn't freeze, Nomsa.
Really?
No.
On my side, you were frozen, both of you.
No.
Oh, so it might be you then.
You then.
Oh,
Because I heard
okay.
every single word of that.
Okay, you can keep talking, Nadia.
Oh, no, sorry. I just kind of finished. I don't even know what I was saying. It's okay. But, you know,
I love, Nadia, what you say. You know, my parents, my mom and my dad, they were different people when growing up as a child. And my grandparents, I used to go and chat to my grandparents. My siblings used to think I was a favorite child, but I wasn't. Now that they are older, they realize that I wasn't a favorite child, because my dad loved his children so much in a way that I can imagine, and my mom as well. But the different with me, I used to talk to my parents. I used to ask questions. I used to love my parents. I'm still a child to them. I like hanging out. I like asking questions. So if there's something that I like, I'll actually communicate with my parents. And if it makes sense to them, they'll say yes. And or sometimes they'll say, how are you going to fund it? And they'll say, give me a job. Basically, really, really, to see how serious I am. Really disgusting job. And I'll be like, doing the gardening, I'll do it. And I'll just go and do it. And I just go and do whatever I've meant to do. But through that process, my dad never told me. He was guiding me through. He was like a coach to me, guiding me through my journey as a child, and my mom as well. Now that I have my own children as well, that's what I do. I don't tell my children what to do, but I actually guide them through life. My job is there. Sometimes I put posters in the house, and their dad is like, why do you have to put all this in the house? I'm like, if there is a powerful message, just write it down and just put it there. But I know that my children are there to become the person that they want to become. I said to my daughter, of course, we have friends in life, we have family members, but when you make a decision, that decision has to be based on you. If it come to a point where you have to choose between your dreams and your friends, that means that person is never your friend in the first place, or a family member, because I shouldn't have to choose. I shouldn't have to begin to be in that situation where if somebody, or if I'm in a...
Oh, I think it's her internet.
Yeah, it must be.
Definitely Nomsa's internet. So I don't know if we're still live or not, but yeah.
Yeah, we are, because I can see.
All right, okay. Is Nomsa still on there?
She's frozen on the live.
Okay. I do love what you
You
said.
want to get married? You
No,
get married because you want to, not because a woman wants to get married. I was like, does not make sense. We get married, we propose and go down on our knees because the woman has swept us away, or the man has swept us food. So that's when we say, can you marry me? We don't marry because somebody has pushed me to say, I want to get married. If you don't marry me, I give somebody an ultimatum. Or there's a guy that said to me once when I went to a business event, he's told me about his wife, how he gave his wife an ultimatum, like, if you don't stop smoking, I'll leave you. I was like, what? Is that? We can use that. I was like, she gave up because of that. I was like, you can't do that to people. There are ways of supporting somebody to make them feel valued. And there are ways of when somebody is going through something, you can support them instead of giving them an ultimatum or blackmailing them. Or simple, if you feel that you shouldn't be in that relationship with somebody, you move away. So for me, that's why I do in life. And my life is very simple. It's not complicated. I don't like complication. When somebody brings a complication in my life, I don't like it. So if I want to like when it comes to life, we meet people, they become our mentor, they become our, they drive us, they help us to actually, when we are driving our own car's seat, in our own city, sitting there, they say, yeah, they cheer us up, you can do this. But when it comes to things where you do things and they're like, if I'm doing this, if I'm doing this, she's not gonna like it, he's not gonna like it, then that's no honor. I always say to my children, if you make a mistake, don't lie, because if you lie, that means that the trust is broken. So if you make a mistake, don't say I'm scared of my mom and dad. Just tell me the mistake is mistake. And I was like, I've made mistakes myself. I was telling my daughter the other day that we all, when we were growing up, the mistakes you guys try to tell us porcupines, we done it with our parents. So you might as well not tell porcupine. If you feel, I say to my daughter, she's 16 now, I was like, if you feel like you want to go out, just say it. Don't jump the window and say, I'm going to jump the window when mom and dad are sleeping and then I go out. I was like, if one day you feel like you want to go out, just ask. Or I come out with you, or you can come out, somebody else, some of the parents that can come, but not while she's 16 anyway. It's never going to happen. She needs to focus on her study. So yeah, it might happen, me not knowing, but I always tell her that a child has to behave like a child. Like Nadia, you were saying that when we go on social media, we want to copy, the children want to copy somebody else, the adults want to copy somebody else. I always say to my children, if you're a 16-year-old, behave like a 16-year-old. Have fun in life. Don't behave like an adult. Yeah, like you want to drink alcohol, you want to have sex. By the time you turn 26 or 20, your skin will be like, I was like, enjoy your life while you are a single person, because when you enter a relationship, it requires you putting makeup 24/7 to please the other person. That's why people do put makeup. You'll be like, oh, I don't want my boyfriend to see me without makeup. I'm like, what the heck is that? But they know that you were not born with makeup. So that's what life is. Sometimes we don't have to try to fit in. For me, there are principles that I live by. I don't let my friends and family talk me out of my dreams. If you were to talk me out of my dreams, I leave you behind, and I know you follow me one day. But at that moment, I tell myself that I've got to go. There's a destination that I've got to climb. So if you don't agree with my destiny, I'll see you later. I don't have an attitude that I've killed my egos, but I just walk with grace. And then when it comes to life, making decisions and things like that, you have to, don't allow people affirm your destination. Because at the end of the day, that destination is you that understand it. If you come and tell me if I don't understand it, it's still okay for you to carry on with that destination, because it doesn't mean that you're not going to get there. It's just Nomsa doesn't get it. That's what it means. And the other thing that I live by is when I walk my walk, I walk with God. Anything else, I know that some people will come and judge you and say all sorts of things. I was a woman once that waited for people to tell me how beautiful I am. When I wear a dress, if somebody doesn't comment, I'll feel that, why didn't she comment my dress? Maybe my dress is no good. But now I am the one who has to comment on my dress. Even on Facebook or social media, when I post something, I like my post. Because for somebody to like what I do, I have to like it as well. So that's what I do. I'm just there to cheer people up. If you don't want me to, if you don't trust my dreams, I walk alone. What do you think, Angie?
Love that. And I love how you talked about having the positive quotes around the house. That's one of the first things that I actually did when I got on my own path of self-discovery. And I remember people just going, what the hell? There was all over the mirrors, They're all up my unit where, where my bed is. So that's the first thing I saw. I had them in my car. I had them everywhere. And it makes such a difference. It really does make such a difference, rather than negative stuff that's knocking around. Because there's plenty of that. There's plenty of negativity, but there's plenty of positivity. And one of the things that I want to touch on, and it's what Nadia said, and I absolutely, it really made me sit down. But yeah, we don't listen to ourselves. Why do we not listen to ourselves? Because I think we're all too chuffing busy most of the time. Busy being busy, not busy doing what makes our soul sing. Going back to what we talked about last week, Nomsa. We're too busy being busy, trying to fit into somebody else's world, in somebody else's shoes, doing what other people, want us to do. My parents never told me what to do. Although, yeah, we had boundaries, rightly so. You've got to be careful what time you're going out. And when we were kids, we had to be in at a certain time when it got dark, and that was for our safety.
Mine was 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. I had to be at home.
It depended, because if it was summer and it was light, we were allowed to stay out longer. But as soon as it started getting dark, if we weren't in by the time it got dark, boy, it weren't worth it, if that makes sense. And another thing that Nadia said as well, the older generations got more resilience. Yeah, we had to. And we weren't bombarded by social media crap and everything that's all over. Something happens and within 10 minutes, it's around the chuffing world. And we never had that when we were kids. And I'm grateful for them times. I remember my first ever phone. I don't know about you ladies, but my first ever phone was one of them bouncy things, the little blue Nokias that you could bounce. And I remember my daughter looking at it going, what the heck is that? That's something out the dark ages. I says, oh, you should have seen my, what was it? I can't remember the thingy now. The Matrix phone, the one that you pressed and it went. I had one of those, loved it. My daughter now, she's like, oh, if it's not an iPhone, you're scum. I'm like, really? So it's very, really, really interesting, how things have changed. But yeah, I do agree with what you're saying, Nadia, that the younger generation, they're being bombarded from every single place that they look. And it's frightening how much, going back to what you were saying, Numps, that the younger generation, if they see something on social media, they think that that's what they've got to do.
Yeah.
It is frightening that the younger generation can't be themselves. Older generation, getting on a little bit now, we struggle with it, but the younger generation, I do feel for them because they're bombarded with all this stuff. And that when we were kids, when, the older generation, your inner circle was quite small in comparison to what it is now, because we've got all the social media crap that's going off and all, the TVs. And yeah, we had a TV, but it was a black and white TV, showing my age now. And it was a tiny thing. I remember my daughter saying to me, what was it, 5 years ago? I had a little tiny TV. It was colour, but it was a little tiny TV. Oh, my days. She used it. She goes, Mum, can I just put something on top of that? And I was like, what? I need to cover it up. It's embarrassing. I went, why? Because it's not got a flat screen. It works, doesn't it? I had this old clock. I think I must have had it for about 25 years. And she was going, Mum, seriously, that's embarrassing. And she put all sorts of stuff over it so nobody'd see it. I'm like, it tells the time, doesn't it? What's wrong with you? Well, because it's not the latest fashion that's just cost me $1,000 or whatever. It's not good. Geez. And it is that out, the outer world infecting their inner world, and we need to do something. But yeah, with children, we've got no right to tell kids what to do in that sense. Keep them safe. I get that, keep them safe, but don't put your beliefs and your thoughts on your children. Let them experience it for themselves. Just be there to support them when they need you. That's where I've been. I've never I remember summer was my daughter was, she was getting it for, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, and and she came in one day and she was in floods, and I just said to her, sweetheart, if you decide you want to work in Tesco's next week and say stuff it to the lot of it, then do it. And she was like, what? I went, it's your life, it's your choices, it's your decisions, and I don't believe in mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. You learn from it. I'm here to support you whichever way I can. Whereas she was getting, oh no, you need to get an A in this. You need to get an A plus in this. You need to do this. You need to do that. I'm like, leave her the chuff alone. You've had your life. Let her live hers. So yeah, it does drive me a little bit, that bit. But yeah. And I've just noticed it's 5-2. And I know what you're like, Mum. So you'll be talking, you'll be keeping me online. And I've got to go fetch my daughter in 6 minutes. Well, yeah, very interesting conversation, ladies. Very interesting. But I do agree with we shouldn't be telling our children what to do. Advise them, but let them make their own choices, for sure. But support them, especially with what's going off on social media. And let them have that safe space to talk. And I mean talk, not, right, you've had 5 minutes now, I'm going to tell you what to do. Blah, 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 blah. And not, yeah, I've done it with my daughter before, and she's got in the car and I can see it before she's even opened her mouth that she wants to rip somebody's head off. And I'll be like, and she'll start and she'll look at me and go, and I'm like, do you want me to talk, or do you just want me to listen? Do you want me to give you advice? Because I'm sure you've had it, Nonsa. Oh, stop trying to coach me. And I'm like, I'm not trying to coach you. I'm just trying to give you a bit of advice. So now I just ask her, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to just listen? Or do you want me to give you advice? Because totally different scenario. Because one can make you fight with the children and one could help you support your children. What yours? What do you think, Nadia?
No, yeah, I think, to be honest, I'm glad I don't have kids, and I never had a need to have a child, because I think I will be too worried about my child, especially now in this world. Because, I think it's very important to let them realize that social media is not real life, basically. And, they are themselves under a lot of pressure by looking at this perfection on social media and getting the wrong ideas. And I can see the consequences of that, like a lot of women, for example, obviously it's all about superficial beauty and so on, and they go through plastic surgeries to deconstruct the face at the age of 16, 17, because they want to look pretty, because all these girls on social media are like this and that and so on. So I think it's important, to safeguard them as much as you can and make them realize that this is not life. Life is about learning about yourself, really, who you are, and what are your life purpose, and self-discovery. And just to add a little bit at the end, like, because we have our friends, our inner circle, and I know from my own experience that we can only accept advice from a person who knows us better than we know ourselves, and most of the time is barely anyone. So, and the person who knows us the best should be us, really. Because so why did we ask for advice someone who doesn't really know us? He doesn't know us on individual level. He doesn't know what's in our highest good. And so really be careful when it comes to advice and asking people. Of course, discussing and reflecting and kind of tuning into with your friends to your life choices is fun, but and good, amazing thing to do. But really be careful is that advice resonates with you individually, because we are individual beings. We are very different from each other. We are unique. And so we need different advice. So what is great for someone else, what they think might be best for us, might not be at all. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share. So yeah, ladies.
Yeah, I love that, Nadia and Angie. Sometimes you got to let people write their own story. And I always say I wouldn't want to control anybody, because if I was to control somebody, I have to think about myself, or how that thing make me feel if somebody was doing that to me. And also judging people go around. We live in this world that is so weird, and people judge you just by seeing you. People go to my website sometimes. Some people, they see that I'm the owner of the company, or some, when I talk to them, they're like, can I speak to the owner of the company? I'm like, you're speaking to Nomsa, how can I help you? And they're like, oh, are you African? I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with that being African? And they're like, okay. So I'm like, okay, yeah, so how can I help you? And that person, because they judge you, and then when they judge you, they end up realizing actually you are not the person that they think you are. You're just here to work and things like that. So it's nice to follow your dreams. For me, my words of encouragement for anyone who is watching, don't design your own life. Never let anybody affirm your destination. If I didn't make you, I cannot define you. Your mother and your father carried you, they raised you, and who am I to enter your life and start saying, you can't do this, you can't do that? I'm just there to support. I'm playing the part in the film. You tell me your story, I will ask you, which part do you want me to play? And I'll play that part. You want me to support? I'll support. You want me to help? I'll help. There's so many things I can contribute, but you have to be able to tell me, why are you telling me your story and how I can support you? That's me. Over to you, Angie. It's 2:00 now. I know you have to pick your daughter.
Yes. So my words of advice, just going to go back to what I said earlier. These are your own glasses. Don't give them to somebody else and expect them to see what you see. Just follow your dream. Yeah, you might have a few hiccups along the way, but you're learning. And if you're not learning, you're dying. We're here to learn, as Nadia said. The same wind blows on us all. Nadia mentioned Jim Rohn earlier. Absolutely love that guy. Find the people that's going to elevate you. Yeah, Jim Rohn's been dead quite a few years, but he elevates me every single day. So find those people that elevate you and not deflate you. So if you want to connect with me whatsoever, you can find me on Facebook under Angie Simmons. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook under Growth Development Foundation. So that's me. And thank you for listening.
Nadia, do you have any words of encouragement, and where can people connect with you?
Yeah, it was a lovely conversation, firstly. So thank you, ladies, for connecting, and I'm so glad that I came back to the show again, because it was really cool chat. So yeah, I just wanted to add with a quote from William Whitecloud, and he said that a psychotic swims in the same water as a magician and creator swims. So we are in the same reality. So really be careful who you're listening to. Learn to listen to yourself firstly, not to other people, because that is your intuition is the most powerful advice, because you already know everything. You know what's in your highest good. You know that the best. And all the thoughts and ideas from the outside world only confuse you and take you away from yourself further and further and create that disconnection and conflict. So really learn about yourself. That's the most important. And if you want to connect, if you want to get to know yourself and need some guidance, definitely reach out to me. I do some intuitive coaching. I work only with women. So yeah, reach out to Nomzao. She will she will share my contacts on Facebook. Find me on the Facebook, Nadia Dubiel. And yeah, and that's it. So I'm wishing everyone lots of love, amazing times, and lots of self-awareness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And live with grace and God bless. I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. UK time. I think tomorrow I'm with Claudia.